the only one could be my only. Please don't let me. All right, you know what? Let's just start it. We spent the last 3 summers. Let's do it. All right, is this thing on? Y'all should be able to hear me about now, I think. Let's roll this intro. Actually, let's just chill for a little bit. Let's get some people in here because we got some things to discuss. We definitely got some things to discuss. We definitely got some things to talk about for sure. All right, is this thing on? Wait, I hear an echo. Y'all should be able to. Right here is echoing. Okay, there we go. Now we should not be echoing. Now we should be good. All right. Let's share this stream everywhere. Yes, there is a song. I think it should be done right now. I believe so, but I'm gonna share the stream and then we'll get right back on it. I lost my train of thought. That's crazy. One, the only one could be my only. Just a friend. All right, hold on, guys. Hold up. We're almost there. Oh shit! No, didn't want to do that. Hold on, guys. Hold up. We almost there. Ha. Is there an echo, Theodore? I don't think there is, bro. I don't think so. Is there? I don't think there is, bro. There might be. To be honest, there might be, and I just don't know. I'm just sharing the link in one more space, and then we'll get it started. Then we'll get it popping. We will get this rocking, and we will talk about all of this PlayStation 5 goodness and news and stuff like that. But first off, how's everyone doing in the chat? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a fine morning, you know? Hope everyone's staying safe as well. You know what I'm saying? Just one more place I'm sharing this, and then we're going to get started. Just one more place, and we're going to get this going. Hold up. Also, guys, I got the intro as well going, so I got an intro. Got the intro. All right. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put at everyone. Shoot. Okay, let's try that. Bet. All right. I think we're ready to go. Is that my boy Kevin Mack in the chat? Is this a thing that you can create a controller? No, it is not. My boy Kevin Mack in the chat. What's good, homie? Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great morning. And all right, let's roll this intro. What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD12 back in here on PlayStation Source, and this dropped last night, right? We got a big drop. I was, thinking about, okay, how do I want to format this? Do I want to stream it and just have a conversation with you guys and just read over what was really just brought out last night in terms of PlayStation? And because there's a lot to cover here, so we're essentially just gonna go over this entire thing. Honestly, that's pretty much what we're gonna do here. So we're just gonna go over the entire thing. Layer by layer, step by step, and definitely drop your questions down below. Definitely drop, any sort of comments you have or anything like that. And I say, let's just get right into it. All right. So first up here, this question on Bloomberg, written by Takashi Machizuki and Yuki Furukawa. I think I did okay with that pronunciation. I think for the most part, I think I did okay. But here we go. Sony Corporation plans to produce far fewer units of its upcoming PlayStation 5 in its first year than it had previously than it has for previous generation console launches, according to people familiar with the matter. The Tokyo-based tech giant is limiting its initial production run in part because it expects PS5's ambitious specs to weigh on demand by leading to a high price at launch. The people said, asking not to be identified, because the subject is very private, the global COVID-19 pandemic has affected Sony's promotional plans for the new device, but not its production capacity, they added. So this, I feel like, was pretty telling, right? Because we even got these reports like a few weeks ago in terms of like PlayStation having a hard time securing hardware components for the PlayStation 5 because of upcoming smartphones and of course the Series X and of course everything else that needs to be produced tech-wise in the industry. And so this, I feel like, was pretty much coming, but it's interesting to hear what its effects will actually be in terms of, them really having two roads. Like one, they could do a limited production run upon release and just roll with it, like what they're doing right now, and just I guess hopefully be okay in terms of PlayStation as a brand, how it's on top this gen and different stuff like that. Or they could delay the console, which obviously, as we know already from the title and all that good stuff and everything that we've heard, it's right now not delayed as of right now, right? So they go on to say the company has told assembly partners it would make Kev, you right? 5 to 6 million units of the PlayStation 5 in the fiscal year ending March 2021, according to the people involved in the machine supply chain. When Sony released the PlayStation 4 in November 2013, it sold 7.5 million units in its first 2 quarters. And so this is going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. Also, guys, y'all watching the stream, appreciate the support. Love you all. Leave a like, share all the good stuff down below. And down below in the description, if you'd like to follow along with this Bloomberg article, it is in the description, as well as links to our other different media outlets, including Twitter, Discord, especially that Discord server is popping all the time, podcast feed, all the good stuff, right? So with the PlayStation 4, what's interesting is that, even though they sold 7.5 million units in its first 2 quarters, you got to really take into comparison that even though PS3 was on a pretty high swing at the end of last generation, it was still, definitely the underselling console pretty much that entire generation up until the last few months, where it finally oversold 360 at the very last, bit of the generation and different stuff like that. So to have, granted, a increase in popularity, right, or like an increase in like its overall like market and different stuff like that, they were still able to sell about 7.5 million units in the first 2 quarters. But now you gotta imagine the comparison of how big PlayStation 4 has been this generation. Over 100 million units sold. Definitely, the main winner of this generation, and they're only gonna have 5 to 6 million units ready in terms of release all the way through March 2021. The let's say here in the PS5's fiscal year ending in March 2021, they're only gonna have 5 to 6 million units, like less than the PS4. So obviously here we're gonna see a lot of shortages. We're gonna see a lot of people that want a PS5 and won't be able to get a PS5. And of course, that is due to this pandemic that we have going on right now, how they cannot secure all those main components and all that good stuff. Theodore in the comment section says, is this video going to be short or long? I'm a little bit tired. I want to get some rest. This is probably gonna be a long one, bro. This is definitely gonna be long because there's a lot to talk about here. So I understand that, and of course this will be uploaded afterwards on VOD, so if you want to check it out later, you can do so. Just let us know how it looks. Man, oh my god, when it comes out, doesn't matter, we can wait. Yeah, I think we could talk a little bit later about how when I think we will see the PlayStation 5, because they do talk about it here in this article. So moving on here, the PS5's loftier price tag may also deter initial take-up. Game developers who've been creating titles for the next-gen PlayStation anticipate its price to be in the region of $499 to $549. And Bloomberg's intelligence Matthew Canterman points to increased component costs pushing up the price required for Sony to break even. Sony has struggled with this price-setting decision for the PS5 because of scarce components, Bloomberg News has reported. So as we said before in the past, they just do a nice little way of kind of encapsulating that they have had problems trying to trying to set a price and as well as secure components for PlayStation 5. And even going on here, we have, again, this is not from Sony. This is from game developers that have been working on titles for the next-gen PlayStation, of course, PlayStation 5. They say that the price will be in the region of $499 and $549. This is the big question I want to ask you all. How do we feel about that price? Because honestly, if you're asking me, right, if you're asking me, I always expected it to be somewhere around $500, right? Like I always was expecting a price. Not saying I want it, not saying I want that price. Of course, everyone would want to play that, sweet $400 spot, whatever. But considering all of the tech that they're putting into this new console, I feel like 500 was the inevitable price. You know what I'm saying? So I really want to ask you guys, how do we feel about that price? Is it too much? Is it too little? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments or the chat over here if you're watching live below. And we have here, Vuk, the homie in the chat, saying it's better if they delay because it's dumb for one guy. It's dumb if one guy has it and a bunch of other people don't. No reason not to, just to delay it. Yeah, we will talk about how I feel about what they should have done here, because I don't think I'm so at a middle road with this. Like, I see both sides, like Chanel, like Frank Ocean, you know what I'm saying? I see both sides. But here we go. A Sony spokesperson declined to comment. Its shares were largely unchanged in afternoon trade. Then they go on to say here that this, like, really cool cost here. So, like, we have memory cost and storage cost. So, wait, what is all this outlining? Sony showing memory cost and storage cost. This is I don't know what this graphics. Are we talking about RAM versus like SSD cost? Okay, I guess that makes sense. So we can see here that it is costing a lot of SSD and of course Series X as well with their SSDs as well. Back on PS4 the memory cost more than the hard drive, and on Xbox One it was a little bit more comparable as well, but it looks like here in the new gen, storage is costing a lot more than RAM. As far as what this is outlining, I think. PlayStation price point, you must undercut Xbox. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I feel like that is the goal at Sony, but who knows if they're ever going to hit that. But moving on here, Sony's strategy, according to several people familiar with its plans, will be to rely on incumbent PlayStation 4 models as a bridge to get new users onto PlayStation platforms, network services, while the PS5 remains in limited supply. So this, I think, is a really, really smart maneuver, right? And we go on, you know what? Let me just finish it off. Currently, Sony sells the PS4 for $300 and the higher-end PS4 Pro for $400. The company may cut these prices around the time of PS5 launch to stimulate new subscribers for the PlayStation Plus membership program and PlayStation Now game streaming service, the people said. Sony's chief executive officer, Kenichiro Yoshida, has said the company will aim to increase recurring revenue rather than one-time hardware purchases. I think this is the smartest play that they outlined here, right? And it's to have it where, all right, because of these circumstances we've been dealt with, because of the card we've been dealt with right now, in terms of this pandemic, in terms of the shortages in hardware and different things like that, I think this is the very, very smart way to go in terms of rather than relying on one-time hardware purchases to, like, in this time, even though I feel like this wasn't the strategy at first, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not what they wanted, and there's a lot more details later on in terms of, like, what they wanted to do. But to have this really, really, unlike Xbox, right? PlayStation does have the I guess, upper hand in terms of being able to fall back on other revenue streams that have been very good to them. Xbox has been building those for a lot more longer, like with Game Pass and different things like that. So they're killing it in that department as well. But PlayStation can do that as well because they have over 100 million PlayStation 4s out in the wild right now. So they are able to, with what they're saying here, with price cutting the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, maybe the PS4 Pro ends up being $300 and they do the PS4 at like $200, while the PS5 takes up that $500 spot. So we have $200, $300, and then maybe $500 or however they want to break it up. I think that could be a really smart way to keep the ecosystem still bumping in terms of PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now subscriptions. I think that's a good way to overall like make them financially okay and write it out during this time where they can't sell that many PS5s because they can't produce that many PS5s. I think that's a smart move as well. And it sounds very Xbox as well. It sounds like a very much like a very Microsoft thing to do at this current point in terms of what they've been doing for the later half of the later half of this generation as well. So I like that move as well. What we got here? Also, it will be my first time owning a console. What will you recommend for my first console? I mean, we gotta wait until till we get some PS5 games. You know, I mean, Godfall looks pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Dependent on what's it called? Dependent on what was I saying? Oh, which games are compatible for PS5 that were on PS4? It's all dependent on those things, but you know, there's definitely going to be a lot of cool, I assume, cool first party, you know, day one games on PS5. But I digress. The PS5 production volume could still change depending on the COVID-19 situation, the people said. Sony has asked employees to work from home to mitigate blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, this is actually really important here. Sony has asked employees to work from home to mitigate the spread of the virus, and its board has been unable to meet to approve business plans for the current fiscal year, including those for the PlayStation unit. The meeting was originally supposed to take place in March. So this is where they go on to detail that a lot of things that they have planned and that they were going to have in motion and set up and do all that good stuff have not taken place because of this work from home push. Of course, because of the virus and different stuff like that. So this is where things get really interesting because they talk about the controller here as well. Sony said last month that it plans to release results for the year ended. March on April 30th, but may be forced to push back that date due to the pandemic, of course. And the virus has already upended Sony's promotional plans. The company may forego hosting a public press conference for its PS5 release and price unveiling due to the infection fears. Recently, it was forced to reveal its DualSense 5 PS5 controller in a hurried fashion, according to people informed on the matter. With only a small circle, While only a small circle within Sony are privy to the appearance of the PS5 console, the controller has been shared with outside developers, and the company feared it couldn't control leaks. So, this is very important, right? Because if you guys remember the PlayStation 4 rollout, we got the controller leak via IGN Colin Moriarty pretty early in the lead up to PS4. Like that was a leak. So in the effort to not have that, they were somewhat forced to reveal. I mean, this is what I don't make sense, right? Like that's why I don't know if it was necessarily like forced in the terms of like Sony was giving and letting the developers see the final build of the controller. So why would they feel forced to put out that blog post about the controller? Is it because they felt forced to do it in that fashion and not do it at like a press conference? I think maybe that's what they probably meant. Or maybe because that same week we had Xbox do another blog of info and features on their own stuff, and maybe that was why they felt forced. But it's very weird to see, like, you know, or to hear that Sony was giving out these controllers to developers, and then they felt quote unquote forced to post about it and make it public. I don't know, but I think it's very interesting also to hear that the company may forego hosting a public press conference for its PS5 release date and price unveiling due to infection fears. I think that's a given, right? Like, I feel like there is no way they can do any big press conference for the PS5, even though they wanted to, even though there was that PlayStation meeting that we all thought was going to happen, all the good stuff. It looks like that's definitely not going to happen. And I think we will honestly see it on like a state of play. And most importantly, what do you guys think over here in the chat? Like, what do you guys think we will see the format of PS5 being unveiled? Is it a state of play? Is it its own separate, like, branded live stream? That's the PS5 reveal. Like, is that what we're looking at? And of course, whenever it happens, you can watch it here on PlayStation Source, of course. But let me know what you can think down in the chat and down in the comment section if you're watching on VOD. Still, Sony remains unlikely to delay the launch of PS5 from the critical year-end shopping season. Sony long has Sony's long arch rival Microsoft Corporation doesn't push back the release of next gen Xbox, also expected at the end of the year. Sony won't delay it either. The people said. Some analysts believe the closest contest for attention between PlayStation and Xbox, especially in the US, may force both companies to sell their new consoles at a loss. So this is very interesting. So looks like we're on sounds like we're in a very unique position where both companies probably should delay the consoles due to multiple reasons. One, of course, being the virus, and them, having these high cost parts and components for their new consoles being at a very, very high cost because of the scarcity of them, because of the virus, of course. And also, I feel like they probably should delay it because I don't know about you guys in the chat, and I don't know about, a lot of, I mean, it's not even that you don't know. It's everywhere that the economy isn't the best position right now. Like, it's not in the best state. So to release a $550, $500 PlayStation or Xbox Series X console in this economy doesn't seem like the best move overall. But in an effort of capitalism and in an effort to compete, they may both just be forced to sell these consoles at a loss because of said, capitalistic fight that they're in right now, in terms of just the eyes of the generation. Like, for PS4, the Xbox One came out, I think it was a week after the PS4. So the PS4 had a week head start, but, that didn't play much into it. I think what played a bigger part into it is, of course, that price point that PS4 had, being $100 less than the Xbox. I think both the this is a quote, I think both the PS5 and Xbox Series X may end up at $450 USD, even though they would lose money at that price, said Damien Thong, an analyst at Macquarie Capital, I think is how you would say that. Suppliers have started delivering components to PS5 assemblers, who are scheduled to begin mass producing the product by June. Sony's PlayStation chief Jim Ryan has stressed that the machine's launch should be simultaneous around the globe, according to people in the company's supply chain. That is crazy. That is interesting because if you guys remember, the PS4 launched first in the US. So for Jim Ryan to say that they are going to have a global release of only 5 to 6 million units, dude, it's gonna be really, really hard to get a PS5. I'm gonna do my best. I have my credit card ready to go, set aside for when the PS5 pre-orders come up, because I gotta get one day one. You already know, I have to get this console day one, right? So I'm gonna do my best to get the PS5 day one, but man, it is going to be difficult, guys. It is not going to be easy to get this console. You know what I'm saying? So there's a little bit left in the article. COVID travel restrictions have prevented Sony engineers from flying to China to direct financial adjustments before assembly plants go into mass production. Sony's assembly partner had voiced concern last month about meeting the production deadline. However, these worries have since abated, and it should now be able to meet Sony's requested schedule, people familiar with the discussion said. On the software front, Sony has publicly warned that the COVID-19 pandemic may affect the game production pipeline for titles destined for its next console, which is a problem the entire industry is grappling with. And that's a big thing that, that we haven't really discussed thoroughly, and that is that, like, what, of course, in and of itself, the console is having an issues, right? Like, the console itself is having issues meeting deadlines per se, and it will have issues in terms of production, in terms of how many are being made, because, of course, they only plan on having 5 to 6 million units between release day and March 2021. And by all means, who knows, maybe that could be alleviated. Maybe if things calm down the next few weeks and few months, maybe that number grows to a lot more than 5 to 6 million, and we won't really see that big of a shortage. But I don't think things are going to let up that easily. Like, maybe that's the pessimist in me. Maybe that's, me being a little bit cautiously thinking, but I don't think we're going to see much big of a change from what they're projecting right here, due to the situation. And we're not even looking at really the games. Like, what about launch day? You know, like what is gonna be the key mark? Game like what is the quote unquote knack of PS4? What is the quote unquote Killzone Shadowfall of of the PS4? What is the Resogun of PS4? I mean of PS5 because those are PS4. I'm an idiot. What are the main keymark launch titles of the PS5? And we don't know that yet. Maybe we will know here on, but I think those could be in jeopardy as well in terms of production because we already seen the likes of Last of Us get delayed already. Last of Part 2 is already delayed. Ghost of Tsushima, I think, is getting delayed. I have a video on that as well this week. Make sure to check back for that video as well because I got thoughts on that as well. But most importantly, guys, that's all that's going down here. So just to recap, of this big Bloomberg article. Again, links are in the description if you're on VOD or watching the stream right now. It looks like they are, planning to make only 5 to 6 million units of the PS5 in the fiscal year ending in March 2021. So that's essentially from launch to March 2021. Game developers are saying that those that are making titles for the PlayStation 5 say that the price range could be in the region of $500 and $550. Who knows which it will be. I'm still lenient on 500 just because I feel like 550 is such an odd price to put something at. But I could see 500, but I guess we will have to see. We're also getting reports that the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, to combat the losses that they will take on PS5, maybe those will be dropped in price to be able to kind of boost a little bit of hardware sales in the overall pipeline, as well as increase subscriptions for PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now to alleviate those cost-cutting measures that they might have to take in order to get this PS5 out the door. It's really cool to hear all these all these plans that were changed in terms of like them unveiling the DualSense PS5 controller not being the way they wanted to, and then being pretty vocal. Well, not really vocal, but just this is from insiders saying that they don't anticipate them having a real press conference to unveil PS5, and they're not happy about that. But of course, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And interesting to say that. To see that, even though it is probably the right move for them to delay the console, they still won't. In an effort to compete and be competitive and stay competitive with Xbox. I would love to see them meet behind closed doors and go, listen, this is going on right now. I think it might be better for both of us if we just push the consoles to, if they have to, November 2021, If they, I could see like a spring 2021, like just when Switch launched. I think that could be an interesting way or a interesting time to launch the consoles if it was like a March 2021 release date, but they won't do that as of right now because of their competition and different stuff like that. And that's kind of where we're at. So PS5 is looking kind of shaky. A lot of things are not panning out in Sony's eyes, but most importantly, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let's see here. So we have from Vuck here. He says, as long as it's $3.99 to $4.99, I will be getting it. I will be getting a PS5 since where I live in Europe. Sony is so much more popular than Xbox, and my friends own PS4 and stuff. Yeah, dude, for sure. And that wasn't like a COVID-19 cough. That was just like a dry throat cough. My water's over there. I'm good, guys. I'm good. But yeah, it's a very good point. Right now in the States, PS4 is very popular. And I was around during the PS3 era, and I had the PS3 that whole gen. I've never owned the Xbox console, so of course it's a little bit different in terms of these two gens where we had 360 be so dominant during the 360 PS3 era. But definitely, I feel you on the popularity. Like I do have some friends that have Xbox, but the overwhelming majority of them have PlayStation. So I can feel you on that. And of course, when you run a channel called PlayStation Source, you kind of got to get a PS5 day one, So I will be trying to do that my best. But, if you have any more thoughts down, in the chat, let me know. I would love to, have a little conversation, at the end of this article. But most importantly, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. or in the chat if you're watching live. Make sure to also leave a like if you enjoyed this stream or this video, as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Shorts to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation, as well as, of course, down below in the links. Down below, you can find a link to this article, as well as the podcast feed, Discord, Twitter, all the good stuff, you know what I'm saying, down below in the description. So, very interesting stuff here, guys. Very interesting times right now that we're in, you know, unprecedented times. And I just felt like doing a stream just because, like, this was so much information and this was such a big article to go off of that, of course, I could have done a video, but, like, I feel like it would have been just essentially this, you know, just me talking over all this good stuff. So it will probably be a reveal in a live stream. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a state of play. I think it'll be maybe like its own separate stream, maybe not attached to state of play. I think it'd be smart for them to attach it to state of play and do that whole thing. I think that'd be very, very, you know, clever of them. And I think could boost the PlayStation state of play brand overall, you know, of streams. I think that could be a really, really good way to do it. But I think that's all I got for this stream, guys. You know, definitely let me know in the comment section on the VOD what you guys' thoughts. Like the stream, like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Shorts to keep up with latest and greatest in PlayStation. If it's limited, then it's kind of meh. I mean, one more thing I'll say about it being limited, right? If you guys recall, the Wii was artificially limited, right? So Nintendo intentionally made less consoles of the Wii than they were able to in order to instill a artificial, like, demand for the Wii because it was so rare. So it was a rare commodity. I mean, it was a rare commodity, whatever the word is. It was a rare thing to have a Wii during that specific time when the Wii first came out, right? So it created, like, a lot of buzz on different, like, news platforms. Like, I even saw, like, the likes of, like, Good Morning America and oh my god, what's that called? Like NBC doing reports as well on, like, man, like, this new console, the Nintendo Wii, is so cool and so popular, but it's scarce. Like, you can't really get one in stores. They're selling out, and it created this artificial buzz for the Wii to further sell that console, even though they could have made a lot more to supplement the demand, right? So they made, like, this artificial demand for the Wii. So, not saying that I would want them to do this, but I think this could be a very unique type of side effect to this limited PlayStation 5 output in the first fiscal year that the PS5 is on market, in terms of it could create a lot of buzz and a lot of, you know, word of mouth because of how limited the PS5 is going to be. It could be we could see a very, very similar effect that the Wii had just with the PS5. So that's just like another thought right there that I didn't bring up. I don't think I did. I don't know. I just want to be able to get it at any time. Not wait more and more. Yeah, I know. I mean, same, man. Same. I mean, but again, we all got to just put into perspective that this was not the intention of Sony. This is not the intention of Microsoft. This is just them trying to make the best case scenario with the cards given right now with this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So, and obviously, y'all know, is that my boy Jonathan in the chat? Jonathan, you're so late. My boy. Y'all, have those post notifications on. You know what I'm saying? Have those post notifications on. Ring that bell. You know what I'm saying? Where is... Oh, up top there. Wait, no. Where did they even ring the bell? Interesting. I don't even know where the bell is. You just know that scalpers will... Dude, that's the biggest thing as well. That is a good point, Oldman, is that we're going to have a lot of people just scalping. I'm not going to scalpel. I'm going to act like a scalpel, but just for my console. Like I'm going to do the absolute most to get the PS5 day one. You know what I'm saying? That's me, right? Like, I'm going to be day one on that page, like, literally, like, second one, trying to secure a PS5. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? But that's a really good point as well. Like, there will be massive inflated prices on eBay and OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace to secure this console. 100%. That's of course going to happen. And it's going to be made worse because of the shortage, you know? I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'll pay whatever I got to pay to get a PS5 day one. You know what I'm saying? If I can get one directly from Sony and pay just $500, cool. That is what I'm expecting. But if I got to go on my way and jump through hoops and do something crazy, I will do it. Either way, the controller looks fire. Also, what do you predict the price will be? I think it's gonna be $599. I mean, I'm sorry, not $599. I'm sorry, $499, not $600. I think the price is gonna be $499, $500. Gonna buy one and sell it, and sell is for $200. If you do that, man, you sir, I don't know, man. I don't know if you should do that. You know, I don't know if you should do that. But guys, I think I think that's all we got to talk about for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, let me know your your different insights. How you feel about this article? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure also, while you are down there, to check out our description where you can find our Twitter, our Discord, our anchor link to our podcast feed. Those are long form content and podcast format. That, of course, being Save Slot Podcast, Road to Part 2, all the good stuff, as well as that Discord servers popping all the time. Make sure to go join that Discord server down below in the description. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you for watching, and as always, greatness awaits. Later, guys. Much love to the chat. Much love to y'all rocking out with me. You know what I'm saying? I will see you all later. Make sure to subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I will see you all later. And as always, greatness awaits.